What's going on, world? What's going on, everyone? So we have some interesting news here. As you know, Sweet Baby Inc. is the one who pushed this universe here, Tales of Kenzera, right? The Zao dev, Surgent Studios, who were consulting. Now they want to make an Afro-Gothic RPG inspired by Planescape Torment. The team is looking for a funding partner for Project USO because they don't want to be seen as Sweet Baby Inc. Funding it. But the thing is that they made this world, so they're continuing it on. You would think that after how bad the game did and how it didn't sell, you wouldn't try to continue a label that they pushed. You see what I mean? But yet they want to do that, and I think this type of title is not gonna work. Do we know what this is? It's defined as an aesthetic means of coping with the traumas of colonial slave history, right? And we know that Gothic is German. So I don't know if that's going to be something that people are going to want to play and see in the gaming industry when we think about trying to reach an audience, right? I just think that that's a bad idea. So recently too with this team, they just got put on basically a layoff or a hiatus without pay, and now they're trying to look for funds after that recently just uh, getting shown. So now they're back at it. They want to push this again as we see Sweet Baby Inc. influence Tales of Kenzera. They were behind it big time. The game got crushed. It didn't do well. And then Grumps was saying he was calling people racist because that's why the game didn't succeed. He's like, dude, you need to understand your audience. And then his father had passed away, which I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not getting into that. But he was trying to tell people to buy the game because of that. That's not good because that feels like like he said already, you're uh, turning it into a marketing point. It would disrespect the death of your father. I would agree with that. And he lost his own father, so that can justify this statement a little bit more. But another thing is that when we look at the industry, when celebrities pass, people like try to make these tributes on them and they try to make films. Like you saw they did with Michael Jackson. This for a lot of other people. And they end up making 300-400 million, but who's getting that money? They are. If the product is good, it's going to sell itself. And then you put at the ending, this was for him because I wanted to put something great out there for that. That's my interjection on that. It's like, I want to make sure this passes if I want to do this for him. I want to make sure we put so much heart and love into it that it's going to be so good that it'll be done so well authentically, right? And that it'll sell so much. And then I'll say, yeah, you see, because my love for him was put into that. I'm not using him to make it sell more because if my love is good enough with the staff that I have, it's going to do that. That's just a common principle because, like I said, the wicked industry does this shit all the time on people's death. So I don't think that that's the way to go about that, and I wouldn't do that. But going down, it says Tales of Kenzera Zarudev, Surgent Studios is making what it calls an Afro-Gothic RPG inspired by games like Planescape Torment and is looking for a funding partner. Speaking to Video Game or Video Game Chronicles, studio head, this is the individual right here, Abubakar Salim showed a pitch for the game for which the studio is currently seeking funding. And he did a role in House of the Dragon. He did a good job on that. The game codenamed Project USO is an isometric RPG. It's still in the Tales of Kenzera universe. Big mistake. But it's darker. It's more, oh God, visceral. It's gritty, Salim told us. The best way I can describe it is a single player isometric Afro Gothic action RPG. I don't think people are going to be interested in that. You don't have a base like, good luck. Definitely after like knowing that Sweet Baby Inc. was with the title in the universe and you're still pushing that and you're looking for funding because your world was not successful. So the story with Zhao is that a shaman you're challenging the god of death as a way of looking at the idea of healthy handling grief. So I came up with the idea of what if one reader is inspired to defy death itself, so they create this android which is fashioned to cradle the spirits of the dead. That sounds like some, African roots right there. When we think about maybe shamanism, which that's also native to voodoo, hoodoo, or going into witch doctory. And what if that spirit isn't a human being? It's a god Ishu, the god of chaos. So now you've got these two mentalities in one frame. That's something I thought would be really cool to explore. Okay. Salim tells us that he envisions the game being similar in price and Tales of Kenzera, which launched at $20. See, I'm about having different cultures. Like I like that India may eventually be getting involved in the gaming industry. I like that South Korea is coming in. I see that China's coming in. Those are some things I don't agree with at all when it comes to CCP. But if you're bringing different diversity at the highest quality, and you're actually being a gaming developer, and you're not trying to push narratives or agendas, then I don't have a problem because it's something that should be natural and creative as a diversity naturally to life, not with an agenda behind it, misrepresenting the label. So he says, I like respecting the player's money and time. We'll see. He told us. In terms of the game scale, he says he isn't looking to make a game that's photorealistic. Yeah, I mean, hyper details, this is not what makes a video game good. You need good gameplay, you need a good story, good writing, good voice acting, an amazing environment and atmosphere. There's a lot of other things that puts a game together that's very well. And then, the visuals are the present that you're wrapping over it. But what's inside needs to be really good. And that's a problem today. People spend too much money on hyper details in Western society instead of focusing on the core aspects what make gaming good. Also, high replay value. Because I've been gaming for 30 years, almost 31 here, since I was four back in 1994, born in 89. So you can see almost 34. But I've been there since regular Nintendo all the way up to now, beating thousands of video games. You're talking to one of the most intense gamers in the world. I heavily competed for a while too, did all that. Uh, but now I want to do these articles. I want to get this stuff out of the gaming industry. We want to be a light worker here, which I've always been, and we don't want any of this DEI woke stuff coming up in the industry because you're just not helping the game industry. You're trying to destroy it and act like you're coming in as a developer in disguise when really you're just an activist. You're trying to just push weird stuff, and for the people that are aware, they know it's satanic Baphomet. I'm not going to play dumb because I know what it is and I know who I represent. So we're not going to be fake about that. But getting back to this, he says we really want to focus our time and attention on the mechanics, on the gameplay, on the feel of it as a whole, because I think that's what's really key, he said. That's what is going to make it really sing. That sounds good, but let's see. As passionate Dungeons and Dragons players, Abu Bakar said, the Surgent teams and I knew we wanted to try our hand at creating our own RPG system as a way to give Project USO, that's how you say it, a fast paced, real time feel. We created the Crucible system, which requires players to roll against themselves. Surgent Studios has developed a fully functional prototype of Project USO and is actively seeking a partner to bring it to life. Last week, the developer put its staff on notice of redundancy as it's seeking funding for the project. Earlier this year, the company laid off over a dozen developers. And remember, they were in bed with Sweet Baby Inc. That's how they got into this position in the first place. So do I trust them? No. I mean, because if you get into them, then you were with the mindset of let's destroy the gaming industry and force our ideologies and narratives into there. That means you're also pushing the far left agenda, the communistic agenda, and the liberal agenda. And those are the people that are in power over you. So I can't trust you. You're going to have to show me how you can be trusted, right? So yeah, that's my thing about that. So going down here, it says Tales of Kenzera was released earlier this year, published as an EA original title, not surprised. The game received generally positive reviews with a Metacritic score of 76, which I think some of that was forced because the users didn't really like the game. They gave it a 4.5. But my thing is, I mean, I don't even care about playing the game because when I saw it, I'm like, eh. I love my Retrovania games though. So Video Game Chronicles tells the Kenzera reviews called it a challenging, poignant Metroidvania. Tells Kenzera Zero feels like the studio stretching its legs for the first time, he wrote. Visually inventive and full of great platforming, average combat, and exploration let it down. It's very important when it comes to Metroidvania because there's so many great ones now and good ones. So let me know what y'all think about that. And we're going to find out if Sweet Baby Inc. is hiddenly involved into this, which who knows, right? I mean, they push this world, so just wanted to get that out. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day.